Hi, good morning, afternoon, I don't even know where we're at. I've just asked my kids to be quiet so that I can make a video, and I'm sure you can hear them in the background. Tiptoeing.
Sorry.
See, tiptoeing. As soon as you mention the need to be quiet, the volume ramps up. So it's probably best to just not say anything anyway. But something I want to address, like you see my Cabbage Patch Kid, it's just cute, is anxiety, and when our kids feel anxious, and this desperate need inside us as parents to want to fix that, to want to alleviate that pain for them, because we know how uncomfortable that is ourselves. You know, I fall victim to this as well, because when you're in that anxious state yourself, the thought of someone else being in it with you, especially someone that you have under your wing, someone you love more than anything in the world, is a really, really difficult situation. And so our natural instinct is to get rid. You know, we don't want to feel this feeling ourselves, and so we don't want our children to. And so one of the biggest wake-ups for me is when I have that need, is to look at my own situation and to see that actually I've let my cup run over. I always liken anxiety to being like a teacup, and it's just being filled up with water until it's overflowing into the saucer. And so it's about taking elements out so that the water doesn't run over, because the running over is our nervous system reacting to poor diet, lack of sleep, relationships that have got inside our heads, our thought patterns. You know, there is a multitude of different reasons for having anxiety, and so my go-to is fix sleep. You know, I start fixing these things one after another to try to get myself back on a level. I go and get help. I have someone that I can talk to, because I really need to offload, because obviously I've been taking too much on board that I now can't cope with it. My nervous system can't cope with it. And the thing about our kids having anxiety is that we as parents can be really good at helping them to regulate their nervous system, but only if we're coming from a place where ours is regulated, and that's really tricky. So it's about finding ways to soothe yourself that are healthy, finding ways to nurture and to be kind to yourself. And when you're spinning plates, it's really difficult, but it has to be priority, because our kids pick up on every single thing that we go through. I remember Michael Palin, before I had kids, he said something like, you can hide from everyone, but you can't hide from your kids, because they see and pick up on everything. And so in my parenting, I've never imagined that I'm hiding anything from my kids. I know that they're there, and they're the all-seeing eye, if you like. And we feel such tremendous guilt when we can't help them, because they trigger this wounding in us, this pain within us that we want desperately to heal within them. But until we've healed it within us, we can really only provide a sticking plaster. And I don't want that to sound like a long-winded job, like it's useless, you know. It's not. Once you start on that path and that journey to self-discovery, to healing your own wounds, it's amazing how our kids pick up on that. I notice when with my own kids, that they only trigger me when I'm feeling particularly raw. The rest of the time, I'm quite resilient and can support them. And it's kind of like the chicken and the egg situation, because our kids have this state of anxiety, which creates a trigger within us, which creates our own anxiety. And it's like a dog chasing its tail. It's like we can never get to the end of it, because we're trying to support them whilst trying to keep our own heads above water. And it is, you know, we are constantly doing that as parents. But at some point, we have the ability to step aside and to do something for us that will empty our cup just a little bit, just so that we can see clearly again. Because it's really, it's like the blind leading the blind unless we start helping ourselves. And so when your child is in that state of anxiety, try regulating yourself first. Just take some breaths. Get a meditation app and do a couple of minutes of grounding. Just breathing. The breath is an amazing thing to ground us. You know, have you ever just stopped when you're in the middle of stress and taken 3 long, deep breaths? It makes a huge amount of difference. Just do it now. Just stop and breathe. It creates silence. It creates a space to hear the birds singing and to stop the thoughts that run through your head like a freight train. Love yourself through this is my main takeaway, you know, is my main priority for you. Because if you can start doing that, that will start regulating your nervous system, telling yourself you're safe, you're loved, it's okay. Because your nervous system is reflected in that of your children. And so the more you can do to help yourself, the better. All right, lots of love. Right, this is really problematic now because I've got to learn how to edit 2 videos together. But something that I really wanted to talk about, but I completely forgot, was that we don't need to fix our kids. We want to, we're desperate to, but we don't need to. So many occasions, my kids feed back to me that I don't need your help. I don't need your advice. I don't need you to fix me. I just need you to be there. And that advice is gold, because now when they're in a state of anxiety, I can say, what do you want from me at this point? What do you need from me? And that puts them in the driving seat. And that alleviates some of that anxiety, because they know what they need. We don't necessarily know that. And when they're too young, it's giving kids space to feel. It's good to feel, and to feel safe feeling. You just create that safe space for them to have those strong emotions. And then they know that those strong emotions are okay. They're allowed. They're natural. They're normal. And that's really important with our kids, because it teaches us to be okay also with those strong emotions. Feelings are meant to be felt, bizarrely enough. All right, take care.